Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. Boozer here. Thanks for stopping by. This is going to be a pretty long video. It's going to cover a lot of things. Super busy Monday today, but I'm going to do my best to bring you guys all the information that you guys need to make educated decisions, and I'll let you guys know what I plan to do with everything that's going on today. So let's jump right into it. Alright guys, so first I'm going to start off. Let's talk about the specialist summon pool for the Prism Shard event. So here we have 6 legendaries. It's 5% chance to pull. Like similar rates to Sacred Shards, there's only 6 legendaries, so the pool for legendaries is actually pretty small. There's, a couple good champions here, a couple fusions that probably aren't going to be very relevant, but obviously the main prize here is going to be RN Archer, insanely good Hydra champion, very sought after. Having her gated behind a Prism Shard event, I'm not a big fan of that. It's going to be kind of sucky for a lot of people. I did manage to save some Prism Shards from the last summon pool, Prism Crystals, so they did carry over, luckily. So I'll have a couple cracks at it, but obviously the chances are very low. 5% chance to the legendary, and then 1 in 6 chance to pull Archer. Nice secondary, like constellation prize, will be Theodore. Theodore can still solo some endgame dungeons at the highest difficulties almost. He can't do Dragon 10 anymore, but he's still very good for Spider 10. Dragon 8, I still use him very frequently, and he's just generally a good champion. Island, I do use in Hydra. He's a very good carry by himself. OL is also very good. Countess Licks and Stick Track, they don't see so much play, but honestly, any legendary can be good in the right situation. So, is it worth to pay to get Archer? I would say probably not. So, what's some of the math that's involved with this? So, basically, you have roughly about a 50-50 chance to pull legendary from normal Sacred Shards with 6% chance in your first 10 or 11 shards. So your first 10 or 11 shards, you're roughly 50-50 to pull a legendary. So this, I mean, you're probably, a little bit worse than 50-50 to pull a legendary. And once you pull a legendary, you have roughly 8.3% chance to pull Archer. If you want one, if you want 2 of them, then you have 16.5% roughly to pull your desired legendary. So the odds are not very good. In terms of pricing, like you're looking at about $5 a pull, which is actually okay if you're comparing it directly to like Sacred Shards. But it just depends how much of these champions are really worthwhile to you. Obviously, Archer is the best. But yeah, it's going to be pricey. The odds are not with you on this one. All right, moving on. So the next big event that just dropped is this Lunar Festival Titan event. So obviously, trying to capitalize on this Chinese New Year that's going to happen or whatever that they have in game. So I did a quick rundown against the UDK event, which happened a while ago, obviously for his 4-star soul, but it's the event that I have in its completeness, so we can do a direct comparison. So here we have the the first 100 points is kind of like nothing. So we're gonna go over to the milestone number 2. And we see, an ancient shard, epic book. So the first 2 milestones is basically for people that are casually going through some of these events. These rewards are basically nothing. Similar to like, doing like a regular dungeon event or anything like that. So these rewards are not really much. Obviously, Plarium points are like totally useless. But if you want to compare it directly to like the UDK event that we had back in August, I believe, the reward structure is actually very similar. In some cases, the reward structure is actually even better. So I'll go over that at the end of going through all these milestones. So milestone 3, we have legendary book. In this case, in the UDK event, they were giving us 2-star, 3-star split, and then 4-star split. So in as a replacement for those split shards, they gave us these high quality, mythical book. They gave us some extra books, which are, pretty good trade-offs. However, the prize is here at the very end. So 1500, it's actually very, obviously very heavy investment. However, you are skipping the 2, 3, 4 milestones. So you get a little bit extra rewards. You get basically an extra epic, legendary, and mythical tome instead of those split souls. But this requires you to kind of go, all or nothing kind of playstyle to get this soul if you are so after it. quick comment about the rewards along the way. Doing cross-referencing against the UDK event, the rewards are actually better. So for example, the Void Shard is cheaper. This Chaos Dust is worth, like 5 Chaos Dust is probably worth around 600 energy. If you're doing Sand Devil, obviously it's 25. You have to do 25. But it's worth about 600 energy. So it's actually a decent amount. The 6-star glyph is cheaper. And generally, some of these rewards are just better if you're doing a direct cross reference. And there's a promo shard here that's actually relatively, cheap compared to the other ones. Like, I don't know why this 5-star chicken is. Just give us this is nothing. But this ore is nice. These are not actually that not easy to get actually. But is this soul? The question is this soul worth getting, right? So I have to think about this. The champion itself is not very good, to be honest. I don't see myself using this at all, and I don't see a lot of people actually putting her to really good use. But is this soul actually useful? So you guys might recall that in our most recent Winter's Path or Snow Path or whatever that event was, where there was a 5-star Blizzard soul that was offered. Okay. That fusion was actually not received very well, but with the addition of that 5-star soul, Blizzard instantly became good. He's now able, we found out that he can solo Sand Devil 25 with 4 food in relatively, okay time, but it's all thanks to that 5-star Brimstone. So it makes you think, right? Like, is Xenogear worth it with the 5-star Brimstone, or any legendary champion worth it with the 5-star Blessing, right? For her, she could easily have it, but she's a bit different compared to Blizzard, because Blizzard has built-in survivability. He's a bit of a tankier champion. She's an attack-based champion, so giving her a 5-star Brimstone, hoping that she can tease out some content like that, might be a bit difficult. The other thing to consider would be if the Cursed City, we will need a wide roster to handle this city. How many rotations there are, we don't know. So you see here, I actually used Blizzard to defeat Amius this rotation because he has the 5-star Brimstone. So in future Amius encounters or other boss encounters or whatever in this city where your champions are restricted, having a champion with a 5-star Awakened Brimstone can be invaluable. So that is what you need to be asking yourself. One, do you have the fusion under wraps? If you didn't do the fusion, then no point getting the soul, no question. But if you've done the fusion, is this soul worth it to put on this champion, to have her available when the time comes and she can help you with whatever content is needed? She doesn't have, I don't see her being super useful, but her passive does give her a little bit of a cheat, because she can revive back on death. Like, she can, revive herself, right? So there might be a way to make her work that might allow her to let you progress through some kind of content. The other thing is, if you don't have this champion now and you have this soul, this champion is not going to be available later on. That's the problem. So if, I think, I don't think Plarium did this very well, I don't think, but it's definitely something to consider. I think most of these lunar Titan points will be gated behind summon events as well, because of all the events we're talking about right now, there are none that use shards. So let's talk about the last event, and that's going to be the Monster Path. So the Monster Path, I was actually very disappointed, surprised, and a little bit shocked how this is structured. I think Plarium really messed this up, because thinking about this, who is this really targeting, right? Like, if you have a collab with Monster Hunter, you would expect to see, maybe some Monster Hunter. You're trying to get new players into the game. But the way this event is structured, how is a new player ever going to acquire this champion? And if they so choose, let's say the person that wanted this champion wanted the champion, why would this player that gets this champion continue to play this game? I feel like you could get more people to invest in Raid Shadow Legends through this collab. For example, if Monster Path included pulling shards, why would you not include pull shards in the way to get points for this champion? Because you could have a player spend money buying shards, pulling shards, getting this champion, and then having new additional champions to play with, to get invested into raid with. And then you also have this level up, training event as well. So whatever they pull, they can level it up, get used to the game. But the way they have this structured is you're getting points. Like, obviously, I don't need to do the math to look at this and be like, okay, they want us to pull soul stones. Where the hell are we going to get soul stones? You have to buy these soul stones. No one's going to be sitting on like 10, 15 of these big boys, right? Um, and a new player has no use for big boys, like big soul stones. They have no use for this. They have no use for it. They can pull they can pull these, yes. Like if you have money, you buy these, you pull them, but you have no use for them. So a new player would not be heavily invested to even like try this game further, if they were, here for just only the monster collab. Like, how are you like sucking in players to come play Raid Shadow Legends? You're literally sucking money from them right away, and then that's it. Because if someone wanted Altrurion, we can go over this. Altrurion is actually a very good champion, I think. But if someone really wanted this and they just have a bunch of money, Plarium would just suck the money from them from buying soul stones, and then they would not be invested in Raid Shadow Legends, the game, at all, to try any further beyond what they have right here. If they pulled some other champions, if they were allowed, train those champions, then they would actually maybe get invested into this game and then try this game further, more spending down the line. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. So I'm not really happy about this event. Anyways, Altrurion, he's a great champion. I feel, this A1's not super great. It's okay. His A2, his protected, increased defense, increased shield. It's actually really strong. 30% of his max HP, so you're looking at like a 30k shield if you got him up to 100k. And they're protected against a boss. So against Hydra, this could be very strong. It's on a 3-turn cooldown. And then he has a 3-turn cleanse with the protected block debuff. This is really strong. And then he has ways to heal himself and like boost his own turn meter. Just a really solid champion carry for like dungeons, or obviously Hydra. I can see him being used in Hydra. He's one of the best, or better. He's not the best, but he's one of the better increased defense champions available. There's just not that many around, right? So these are really good. It's too bad that this was boss only. Like if it was like all content, then you can maybe think about, he might maybe be useful in like something like arena for for whatever use case. But I could see this being useful in Cintrano City as well. For example, against Amius. Amius can't transform these shield or increase defense, for example. And then the cleanse is incredibly useful, and then a protected block debuff versus Amius is very strong. So I could definitely see that being useful. He's a good champion, right? He's not like a must get, or anything like that, but he's a good champion. I think Archer is a little bit better. But obviously Archer, they're not going to give him away for a guarantee. But Altrurion is definitely not guaranteed, since the only way to get him is through this training or soulstone. So let's break down the math for this. All right, guys, so here it is. So this is the cost for the champion Altrurion himself. The way Plarium has this structure is that you do need 2 keys here, so you have to get the 2 keys in the middle. You're gonna pick up 40 Titan points along the way. I mean, if you're not caring too much about the 5-star Zinigir soul, then these things aren't gonna be worth too much. However, picking up obviously rewards along the way will be quite nice. But you're looking at 106,000.75 to get the champion through basically training and soul stones. It's about 1,600 points, I believe, to build a naked 5-star champion all the way to 60. So you guys can think about that as a perspective thing. And then obviously if you have the big boy stones, that's going to be 7,500 right here. 1500 for the little guys. So is this reasonable for most people? No, it's not reasonable, because like I said, new players coming into this raid won't have the capacity to train this much, and they will be bored, trying to buy enough soul stones to get this champion. It just feels kind of ridiculous. So like I said, shards would have made much more sense. You can, people can whale out on shards, get a cool champion, get some goodies along the way. You know, that seems fine. Like, why did they, like, it feels like this is almost a mistake that they left it out by mistake. It doesn't make any sense. And like I said, the 3 events we have going on simultaneously on Monday, like, these are huge events. None of them include shards. So I don't know what they're thinking, but so this is the price for the champion itself. There's alternatives to this, so let's look into that. All right, guys, so this is the alternative in green. So in green, we have the route that picks up all the Titan points. So there's 280 here available. You could not pick them all up. It's not the end of the world. Plarium did give us 250 grace points. Seems to be what they're doing recently. So let's see here. So they did specify here. There's going to be 1750 of these total points, and then we only need 1500 of them to fully unlock the 5-star end reward. And then they break down the structure per week. So in this first lunar event, we have 280 available. So if you skip all of it, then you won't be able to get the end 5-star soul. However, you could skip some of it and still be able to get the 5-star soul if that's what you so choose. So total breakdown here, 56,500 points. It's a very hefty event. I mean, if you're going, I feel like if you were going for all the Titan points, I would probably just go for the champion instead. Leave the Titan points. You're picking up the 40 here. That means you would have missed 240, which means you can still get Zinagir's 5-star soul, which, even though you can't skip anything else, it still lets you get the soul. But I would probably consider going down, at least picking up the 240s. So if you're going to go for the big champion prize, I would at least go for the 240 Titan points and then just call it a day. Because to access these to 100 points, you need to go, you need to get the keys. So it's just a really crazy endeavor. You do pick up 1 key here, and you will pick up 1 more key here, for example. But anyways, these are the 2 paths that you're probably looking at when you're looking at this event. I think it's super heavy, especially for training. Training is obviously not my particular enjoyable event that I would choose for this. I don't know personally what I would do. I don't know if I even have the food available to complete this. And since soul stones is not something that I can acquire, it's all training, and I think it's beyond me. Although I want this champion, I don't think it's even possible for me to do this event. So I think I'm probably stuck getting the Titan points here. As for Zinagir's soul, I'm a little bit undecided. I did complete the fusion just because the fusion was relatively simple. And I was preparing shards to pull for a big heroes pass for Ultron, so that's why I'm a little bit surprised that there are no shards to pull for Ultron. I will probably end up getting Zinagir's 5-star soul just as a byproduct of doing things. But I'm a little bit disappointed I won't be able to get this champion. I mean, I'm gonna have a quick. I'll have a look at what my resources look like, and maybe I will attempt this. But like I said, I'm not looking forward to a full training for this champion. And it's only it's 4 days. It's not like an insanely long one. What they should have done is probably made it 5 days. But I don't even know if that's gonna help. But anyways, guys, hopefully this video was a little bit give you guys a little bit more information on what's going on. to me, I'm kind of lukewarm on everything. I'm excited to pull, my Prism crystals for my chance at Archer. Um, definitely should expect some additional, maybe at least one or two more events that have Prism shards in them to give you an additional chance. So look out for that in the future. But I mean, otherwise, these three events, not super excited about. And I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. What you guys are doing. I think this is a little crazy by Plarium, and I think they missed the mark big time. So, anyways, guys, thanks for watching. I appreciate you all. Have a great start to your week, and I'll see you guys in the next video.